Howdy, people. I want to talk about racism. I mentioned in my video the other day, I had an angle on racism and race relations and the way that we talk about uh, uh, the element of this thing in our society. So I want to start with uh, I think white privilege is a good thing. Um, it doesn't insulate you from hardship. It doesn't insulate you from harm. It doesn't insulate you from poverty. If we're going to call this thing white privilege, and we do, it applies, and it does, to all white people. All white people have white privilege. And yes, intersectionality. Not all white people have white privilege equally. Blah, 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 blah. Sure. Fine. But white privilege itself, isolated, all white people have it. And there are plenty of white people out there who are poor and they're suffering and they're struggling. And some of them, maybe even a lot of them, make stupid ass decisions because of that. But it doesn't change the case. It doesn't change the fact. Okay? What I think white privilege does is it offers you the benefit of the doubt and a little bit of empathy in most situations. And I think that is a good thing. I think that white privilege at its core is the standard. It's the privilege of being seen as it's the privilege of not being seen as less than human because of your race. And I think that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. And if we're talking about white privilege correctly, we should be talking about spreading that around so that it stops being white privilege and it just starts being the privilege of being human. I think that there's a sense right now that the left has made privilege a bad thing. And I think that is a mistake. I think white privilege is a good thing. I think we should be spreading it around. I don't I'm keeping it there because like wealth privilege, for example, if you want to talk about wealth privilege, it's like it just gets weird. Wealth privilege we're not talking about that. But the standard of not being seen as less than human because of your race is a good one. And that should be spread. And I think we have the wrong angle. And I'll just give you some specific examples so you don't think I'm like, oh, here's the straight white man to tell me about fucking, like, be quiet for a second. Just shut up. Like, when I go on Facebook and I see a white dude telling another white dude, sit down and be quiet, white man, know your place. It's like, how the fuck this is not useful. Like, we as liberals, Democrats, leftists, progressives, what the fuck are we doing saying shit like that? That is retarded. so unbelievably stupid. We need new frames for discussing all of this stuff, because all the stuff that you, the left, has identified is real in a lot of ways. There are many brilliant things that have come out of all of the cultural excavation that all of the stuff that has come out of the cultural excavation of postmodernism has utility in some way. But we have to figure out a way to like utilize that in a way that is useful instead of just sort of attack, critique, it's all bullshit. Like, okay, but we still like, I want to provide a model where like we have a positive view of the future and ourselves, but that incorporates the criticisms that have come of like, yeah, all of the cultural excavation that's come out of the last 40 years, 20 years. I don't know how you want to splice it. Obviously, the sort of frameworks and the kinds of things that are being produced these days are changing, and what people are saying is different. But like the last art, like major, like the last artistic era or whatever, has produced a lot of things, and it's just like none of it's been organized, and people are still stuck on just like we need to break all this down into all its component parts and understand it and understand all the ways it's, it's just like it's toxic and promotes the hierarchy and evil and blah 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 blah. It's like, well, okay, well, I want to build something that's a little better than that, all that, and constructs something new, but that incorporates that, because I'm not an idiot, and I don't, out of some reactionary sense, want to like, hide from all that stuff, but also like, I don't know. I was happy as a child, and I want other people to be able to live happy as children in a world they think is good. And so we need to construct that. See ya.